Come explore the magic of Disney, the adventures of Universal Studios, and cruise the high seas. This is Explore the Mouse.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
And here are your hosts, Eric and Casey.
Sometimes hello.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Explore the Mouse podcast. I am Eric.
And I'm Casey.
And we are here with as I'd put it, a really anticipated podcast for me, because I find this area very underutilized and undervalued, which is kind of funny because it's in the name, but undervalued part of Disney. And we're talking about All-Star Movie Resort. So one of the value resorts at Disney World. We recently stayed there this past Christmas for a few days, and it really kind of impressed me. And I stayed there a long time ago, back in 2007, and I'm really impressed with what they have done with it. And I think being a value resort, a lot of people don't give it the credit it deserves, and I think it should, because for a value resort, it's great.
Yeah, I will say I had never previously stayed at a value resort. I've only seen like YouTube videos of what they used to look like. But when we stayed at Christmas, they had just finished renovations. And I do think the upgrades that they've made and the renovations they made, it made me feel like it wasn't what, in my mind, a quote-unquote value resort would feel like. You know, I think the value resorts have this stigma that they're just like a motel versus a hotel. And I didn't get that from All-Star Movies.
No, and I found a couple photos of my trip, my family vacation we took in 2007. And I showed you what one of the rooms looked like.
Those look like a motel.
It was horrible.
Those look like a roadside motel.
Yeah, like gaudy wallpaper. It was bad. And like I think that's the vision that a lot of people get when they think of the value resorts. But the upgrades they did to it really gave it a moderate resort feel.
Yeah, I think that's what they were for so long. Is they were the value resorts. They weren't given as much attention. But now, you know, when you're factoring all these costs, I think a lot of people are using the value resorts and utilizing them for what they are. Some people, like for us, when we went for Christmas, we had no anticipation and no intention to go to the pool and spend time at the resort. We were resort hopping elsewhere. So we just needed a place to sleep. I booked the trip, and I literally booked the cheapest option for 2 adults and a child under 3 for a couple nights. I will put a caveat that we originally booked All-Star Sports, but they were under renovation. They were anticipating being open by the holiday, but we got an email a little ahead of time that said, hey, it's going to be under renovation. We're going to move you. We don't know where. And we were really keeping our fingers crossed because the original email had said that it would be at least a moderate resort. But about, 2 weeks before our trip, we got an email that said we were at All-Star Movies, which we were not upset about. We paid for All-Star Sports.
Yeah, we were expecting it. So.
Yeah, I booked the cheapest standard room just to see what we could do to maximize our budget. I think when I put the quote in, or like when I was searching, the difference between All-Star Movies and Art of Animation, because that was my next like potential check-in, was like $800 difference for 3 nights. Which to me at the time, we weren't paying for a ticket for Harlow because she was under 3. So $800 is, 2 park hoppers for 2 people or more. So I still just stuck with the cheapest and thought, let me just see what a budget Disney resort trip looks like. So,
and a lot of the times too, when we use resorts, we really use it just for sleeping. We haven't really spent.
If we've gone, like when we did the half marathon, we stayed at Old Key West.
Yes.
We were there for a week, and we didn't do the parks every day because we were running,
Mm-hmm.
we were training, we were the day after the marathon exhausted, and so that was really nice to have
the pools,
a nicer resort,
yeah.
And maximize our time there. I think, I would like someday for Christmas, because our plan is to go every other year. It'd be great if we could book Grand Floridian. But now knowing and having stayed at a value resort, I would totally go with the intention of having a resort day.
Absolutely.
Where originally I didn't think that would be something I would want to do at a value resort, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it totally does. And they've done a good job. And That kind of leads me into talking about maybe some of their unique features of the hotel. So again, I'll go back just a little bit, and it is a value resort in the Animal Kingdom Resort area, and it is basically modeled after All-Star movies. So you have your different sections, your 101 Dalmatians, Mighty Ducks, Herbie.
Yeah, I will say they haven't renovated.
No.
And I don't think they'll ever upgrade them.
Probably not.
But like we stayed in the Herbie Fully Loaded. Actually, I think Herbie Fully Loaded is like the remake with Lindsay Lohan. I think the original one's just like Herbie the Love Bug or whatever.
Yeah.
It's modeled after the original.
Yeah.
So some of those, like Harlow didn't get the Mighty Ducks reference. She didn't get the Herbie reference.
The Toy Story area would have been fun, but that's one of their more like pricier rooms. But we'll talk about that in a second.
So we booked the standard, which was like back at the resort.
But some of their unique features, though, is their Fantasia themed pool, which is their massive pool, kind of right in the center of everything. Like right as you walk out of the, I would say amenity center where you have your restaurant, your gift shop, your check-in area. You have this massive Fantasia themed pool with a sorcerer Mickey that sprays water, and then it's just inspired by the classic film. Plus, there's a bunch more stuff too. There's like little splash pads area for the kids, which is called the Duck Pond.
Yeah, there's
pool.
the Duck Pond. The Fantasia pool has like a really cool. It looks like a big cedar curtain, which is fun. I think they do movies at the pool.
Yes, they do. They there was a schedule up when we were there, and it's not every night, but I think it's like every other night.
Yeah, and I think they're one of the only ones that do that.
Yeah, and that's a cool feature too. Is you could literally sit there at the pool in a lawn chair and watch classic Disney movies right there on a big screen. And then the other pool I was talking about was the Duck Pond pool, which is located over in the Mighty Ducks area. And that was actually really cool to see. You stayed back, and I took Harlow around the resort to take some pictures of her. And
we walk past it every day.
Oh, that's right, we did. Yeah we did. Okay. And it was cool because it was like the pool was set up like a hockey rink. So like the pool itself was like the rink, and then you had the nets on each side. It was really neat. But some of the other features, real quick, before we kind of go in details, is they have the world premiere food court, which we'll talk about a little bit, some of their options. Movie Under the Stars, which we just talked about.
Yeah, I was going to say, I just looked it up, and it does show every single night at 9 p.m. There is
it is every night.
Movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, that's perfect. That's so cool, especially if you're going to stay have a resort day.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And then obviously, just like everything else, you have your enhanced stay options with your My Disney Experience app, plus your planning for Disney Genie Plus and all those other things. But let's talk about the actual rooms itself.
Wait, we're talking about amenities. They also have a playground, which was really nice. And they had the arcade. I think that's like one of the biggest things.
Yeah, they had a
really cool arcade.
That was a really big arcade.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to go in there, but we just didn't have time. I love arcades, and we just didn't have time to do it. But the arcade was huge, and
that's one of the things that I think I like that it's like the original size, because back then arcades were super fun and cool, and that's where kids spent a lot of their time. Yeah. So it is still the original size. It's big.
Yeah, it is. And they have a lot of really good games too.
And it's like it's in the main lobby, so it's near the gift shop. So you could give your kid $15, go let them go play in the arcade. You go stroll around the gift shop.
That's the nice thing about the like value resorts in particular, is that all of your amenities are pretty much right there in that center hub.
Yeah, it's totally, and like if you're like us, where we were at the back of the property, to pick up the bus every morning to go to the parks, you have to come through that straight hub, which was also nice. Getting off the bus at the end of the night, we would mobile order some pizza and just pick it up from the food court, because the food court was open really late.
That was a nice
you have to
feature.
walk through that hub anyways. And it was also nice, like running through that hub in the morning. Remember, I wasn't feeling well one morning, and I grabbed some Advil just in the little gift shop. The gift shop was, I'm a gift shop snob, and that's like sometimes I could spend an entire day at Disney just going through the gift shops in the park.
Ditto.
It was nothing special, but they did have like specific ornaments, Christmas ornaments, if you wanted to get one per resort that you stayed at, and they had all your quick amenities, like if you needed some Advil, they had bottles of wine, diapers, all your last minute necessities, and then a couple of specific toys. So they had Toy Story toys, 101 Dalmatian toys, etc.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't like a World of Disney or anything expansive, but compared to like some of the other gift shops, like Riviera's gift shop and stuff, like it was a pretty decent size with a fairly good options of things. So
Are you just mad because you got stuck with the stroller inside the Riviera?
well,
it's really small.
it was such a tiny, like, I know it's not about Riviera, but that is like the tiniest gift shop I've ever seen in my life. Like
bitter.
Like I got stuck with the stroller inside of it, and I couldn't like get out because it was just so tight. Anyways, back to
big in comparison.
Yeah, back to All Stars.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the rooms real quick, and then we'll kind of dip back into like the dining and some of the other recreation type stuff as well. But the reason I wanted to talk about the rooms specifically is because the rooms were kind of one of the main pieces of the renovation. They didn't really do a ton to like the actual outside of it or the theming of it, but the inside of the rooms is where they spent majority of their budget. And they did just do this to all of the All-Stars, by the way. It wasn't just this one. So like I said earlier on, Casey mentioned that we originally booked All-Star Sports, but it was still under renovation, and that was why. But all the All-Star resorts now have all been fully refurbished and like remodeled. And all the rooms are basically going to be this style now, which are really nice. So, so some of the rooms that they had was they have a standard room, and then they have your preferred room.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I actually think they're the exact same room. They're just different locations. I think standard and preferred are just different locations. Like standard is the back end, and preferred is like courtyard.
That's correct. Yeah. So standard is the view of the courtyard, pool, or parking area.
Yeah.
That comes with one king bed, one queen, and a one queen table side bed. Which, by the way, I did not realize that table wall was a bed.
Yeah. No, I told you that.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. And the thing that I'm mad about is that we didn't open it, at least to look at it. Is that apparently inside all of those queen size table beds, is like a portrait, like a really cool like portrait of something.
Yeah, it's like I think it's like a. Oh no, I was gonna say the pop icons, but those were above our bed. I don't know. We didn't open it because you made me bring a freaking Christmas tree to our hotel room. So we didn't open it because we didn't have room. Because of a Christmas tree.
I said we have to have a Christmas tree, so we brought that, and we used the table. But
anyways, wait. Let me backtrack really quick because I think what you said was a little confusing. So, standard and preferred room are the exact same thing. They're just different locations. Both the standard. Hold on. Both the standard and the preferred come in two sizes. So you can get just a king size bed with no table side bed, or you get a queen size bed with a queen size table side bed.
Correct.
Does that make sense?
Yes. The biggest difference of the preferred over standard is that you're closer.
Yeah, it's your location
to all the amenities, which in reality we're one of the farther ones away.
Oh yeah, no, I think they were like these people booked the cheapest trip.
But like 5-minute walk tops from our hotel room to like the cafeteria.
Plus, it was like so much
area.
fun because Harlow loved seeing like the 101 Dalmatians. Like she loved like picking things out while we were walking.
Every morning, so we had to pass. We went from Herbie's through Fantasia, but halfway through there was a like a fiberglass statue of Donald Duck and Daisy.
Yeah,
and it was cute because every morning Harlow would walk past Donald and Daisy and like say good morning to them.
Like, good morning, Donald.
And like run up and like hug them, and it was actually really cute to do that. But the thing was, is like the walks are not bad. Like it's maybe 5 minutes tops from like the farthest room to like the main center hub.
Mm-hmm.
So in reality, is it really worth maybe getting a preferred room to be closer to everything? I don't know.
I'm curious to see what the difference between standard and preferred was. I booked.
Now I do know as well the preferred. I remember asking. The preferred also includes like your like more immense themed area, like your Toy Story.
Right. They have like a little bit more. Yeah, it was Toy Story,
Fantasia, and 101 Dalmatians.
Oh, Little Mermaid.
No, Little Mermaid.
Oh, no, she's sorry.
Yeah, that's Art of Animation.
Yeah. But they had never mind. Sorry.
But no, so they had Mighty Ducks and Herbie were like the two kind of like standard outcasts. They were like, no one cares about them.
Who knows?
And then you had your Fantasia rooms, your Toy Story, which by the way, the Toy Story was probably my favorite theming of all the resorts, like the outside of them. And then you had the 101 Dalmatians, which are part of the preferred.
And we counted them. There's 101.
There is.
Yeah, 101 fiberglass found Dalmatians.
And it was really there was some pictures on our Instagram of it, and Harlow would not leave. When we were at the 101 Dalmatians, we were in that area for about 25 minutes. People wanted to take pictures with like the little fiberglass Dalmatians, and I had to like pull her away to like let other people come in and take pictures. But so the rooms itself, like I said, it all depends. I mean, if you want to spend a little extra money and stay closer to the hub, or 5-minute walk away, save a little money. Because
one thing I will say is if you're someone who keeps stuff in your car and you're like, oh, we don't need that today, but we'll need it in a couple days. The standard rooms, which are the cheaper rooms, are at the parking lot. Like you have access to your car.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Where the preferred rooms, you're up at the front, you're by that hub. So your car is in the back by the standard rooms.
Yeah,
so that's just something to like think about, because we kept our Christmas gifts in the car, and then on Christmas Eve we went and got them.
Yeah, and we were really close. Like I could see our car from like our hotel room pretty much, which was nice. So the amenities don't change inside these rooms. So when you're inside these rooms, you get your hair dryer, your free Wi-Fi, and Alexa's going off in the background of our of our podcast. You get your hair dryer, internet, your in-room safe, telephone, and then coffee maker, ironing board, mini refrigerator, all those things. And that comes standard in both the standard and the preferred rooms, and they all sleep up to 4 people. So really all you're paying for is the locational difference.
Technical difficulties. I was going to say, I really liked as just a family of 3, and we will probably be staying there again as a family of 4. I liked having the table. Harlow was too little. She slept on an air mattress on the floor because we were afraid she was going to roll off the bed. And we also had the Christmas tree. But that's why we didn't pull out the second bed. But we had the refrigerator in there, and we kept a lot of like orange juice. We kept iced coffee. We had cinnamon rolls and stuff because you had a microwave. We had like full access to things. For some mornings, if we felt like we didn't want to run to the food court to then run back to get changed to then run to the bus to get ready, it was nice to have like the extra things, which having the table was kind of nice. Usually if you book, like if we've stayed at Disney Springs and we just get a room, you don't normally get like a full table that you can sit down and have breakfast. Like this had chairs. There was a full table with 2 chairs, which was really nice.
Yeah, that was nice, because Christmas morning we did just that. We woke up and we had orange juice and champagne. We did and it was nice to actually have those features there. At our disposal. So, like I said, upgrade like that, and that was something that wasn't in the original rooms too. So that was a nice upgraded feature that they put into these new rooms as well. So, I personally staying there before and after, kudos. I think it was fantastic, and I think value is honestly worth it if you're looking for the bang for your buck to spend more time in the parks or wherever.
I mean, honestly, we paid pretty much what we normally would pay for our like normal Disney Springs hotels. I don't think we paid any more. I think it was less than $250 per night.
Yeah, because
at Christmas time.
We've talked about before is that we Wyndham Garden at Disney Springs is kind of like our home, like our home resort that's not on property-ish. And even when you pay, you can get some good deals on like Hotwire, but then once you start paying your parking, your resort fees, it literally equals up to within dollars of staying at an actual Disney resort. And I feel that staying at a Disney resort, your amenities like your bus transportation is a huge selling point. Yeah.
So convenient to have that.
Yeah.
Plus, I just loved being able to get off the bus and just get a hot slice of pizza and like walk it back to our room. It was so
I think we even mobile ordered it, if I remember right.
Yeah. We were able to mobile order
because you got
really
pizza.
Nice.
I got something else. I don't remember what I got, but like we just mobile ordered it like maybe like halfway back from Magic Kingdom, and it was like ready to go. And we went to our room, put Harlow to bed, and we just sat on the bed and just ate dinner late at night.
I was going to say, we don't have to call it dinner. It was like a late snack.
I mean, because we closed out Magic Kingdom, so it was definitely like after midnight.
Yeah.
So let's talk about prices real quick, because the prices of these rooms we just talked about in relation. So if you're just doing the room, no package with tickets or anything like that for the parks, you're looking at about $236 an average night for the standard room.
Now, are you putting this is just average, or did you put in dates?
So I actually put in the exact dates of our last trip.
Christmas time.
Correct.
This is literally
This is
Christmas.
actually you're in Disney at Christmas.
So this
and
is
Christmas Eve.
a little bit higher than what your average standard would be.
If like during like your like holiday, like kind of during your slower season, you're probably looking at more of like a 215 roughly average a night. So really only about a $21 difference, to be honest with you. I think sometimes, actually, I take that back, because I have looked at this before, and recently doing the travel agent stuff, I've been kind of looking at different dates, trying to find stuff. And I actually did notice that there are a couple low dates for this where you can get a room for about $190, roughly.
Well, and I think also, like right now, they're always sometimes they're doing specials. Like right now, they're doing 25% off if you're a Disney Plus.
Yeah,
you can that works on Value Resorts.
Yes, that works for all the resorts. So actually, well, how that works though, to kind of, since you brought it up, how that works though is it's a tiered system. So you're 20, it's up to 25% off based off your hotel. So Value Resorts are at 15%, I believe, if Disney Plus. But still,
any little bit off is like pretty helpful.
Absolutely. I mean, 15% off of a room that might be 190 is great, and that only runs to September 30th, by the way. So if you want to take advantage of that,
well, they're always running deals.
Oh, yeah.
I was just saying, like, so you can, in theory, get it for under $200 a night.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But just for this scenario, based off of our vacation we did last year, we put in the exact dates we were there, with 2 adults and a kid under 3, and the room rates were $236 for the standard room. Now, I added a package in there as well, just to kind of see what it would look like. And we had a 2-day park ticket with Park Hopper. And we were looking at, for a standard room with that, we're looking at just under $2,000. But that gives you park tickets and the Park Hopper option for 2 days in a row. So a little bit more pricey, but again, if you, like, for us,
not that big of a difference from last year to this year.
No.
If you're thinking about like everything else that has changed.
Absolutely. And like for us, we're big experience people, where we rather substitute a gift for like a fun experience. So for $2,000, if you are like a family of 3 with a child under 3, $2,000 is not bad. It really isn't. Like, that's a pretty decent price. So
we were actually just talking about how Harlow has not had a birthday party yet, because each year we've just pretty much said, like, by the time we rent out a place or, throw in at our house and provide alcohol and food and balloons and, you got to get the cute cookies and the cakes and all that stuff, they're looking at $1,000 right there.
Absolutely.
And so we have said each year, like, we'd rather just do an experience. And, her birthday's right after Christmas. So we were pretty much like last year, her birthday gift was Disney, and it will be this year too, because we're doing the marathon literally 2 weeks before your birthdays.
And fun fact, I get to take advantage of all these fun things for her birthday because we share one. Yes. So okay, that's the fun part.
I do want to go back because I just looked up what it would be if we went like right now, just to see the difference between Christmas versus like end of summer.
Yeah.
And All-Star Movies is booked, but All-Star Sports, if we were to go right now for the same time, is $143 per night.
Really?
And
wow.
Art of Animation is $220.
Wow.
So that gives you, just to show, I wouldn't even call right now off season. I think it's still on season for them.
Absolutely.
So you can definitely stay at an All-Star resort for under $150.
Especially with how much is going on at Disney right now with the food and wine still, Not So Scary Halloween. There's so much going on. That's actually a really good price. I did not realize that you can get it that low. So there you go. I mean, that's awesome.
So I was just trying to see like what the difference. I think it is cool to see what it was compared to what we paid last year, but it is kind of cool to see like what it would be right now if we were to go.
Now, just with that though, just remember All-Star Sports, it's not as immensely themed as like a movies one,
So I mean,
but if you're not there for that, if you're there for just like a Disney experience, a place to stay and go into the parks, $143.
But
why not?
I mean, I guess my thought was All-Star Movies is somewhere closer to that All-Star Sports number at $143 versus the $220 Art of Animation. So it would still be under $200 per night if you were doing All-Star Movies right now.
$220 for Art of Animation is not a bad price either.
No, that's a great price.
That's a great price.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to go now.
I have friends that are there like literally right now this week. I should ask her how much.
At Art of Animation?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite resorts. It's so cool.
They stay there every single time. They go several times a year. They fly down from Pennsylvania, I think, and they stay at Art of Animation every single time Because it's like perfect for their kids' age.
I think I might do a immense walkthrough of Art of Animation when I go down in a couple weeks for Mickey's Not So Scary. I think that because that place is really awesome. So
I think that's another like undervalued resort.
100%.
We can talk about that another time.
We'll
we're
talk about that.
Talking about. I was just curious to see what the price difference was right now.
All right, let's talk about some dining because we love food on this podcast, and their dining like hall, I guess you can say, food court.
I was gonna say it's a food court.
It is. Yeah, it's called World Premier Food Court. They have a lot of options, and I was really shocked on that. I wasn't expecting to see so many different, like types of food that you can pick up.
Fares.
Yeah, because you would think value, you're just going to kind of get what you get, but really they had a ton of different options there. So, let's talk about a couple of them now.
We didn't. I will put a caveat. We did not like sit down and eat a single meal there. And that being said, we still used it tremendously. We grabbed breakfast there almost every morning.
Yep.
Always a late night snack. I don't even think we were at. No, we did come back to the resort at one point to, I don't know, switch something or do something. I think we were there around lunchtime. I can't even remember.
I remember we did pop through there at one point around lunch because I remember we stopped and grabbed a coffee and something else to drink and something else, but we didn't eat lunch though.
Yeah, but we have sampled a lot.
Correct. Yes.
From here.
So just to kind of give you like a little bit of idea, they do have breakfast there. It's not a buffet or anything, so you kind of go up to the different like food court options, and you can pick out food from all of them. And they're really your traditional kind of Disney, food, like Mickey-shaped waffles, sandwiches, omelets, pancakes with, berries. They even got plant-based stuff as well, overnight oats, a plant-based Mickey frittata, plant-based Mickey waffles, and then like some stuff for the kids meals, sides, and then a bunch of different desserts, and all their desserts are really just like cupcakes and ice cream bars and that.
So they also had the bakery,
Yep.
which had like croissants and chocolate chip muffins and things. Like that's what we grabbed each morning, like on our way.
Yeah, so Christmas morning, that's what I ran down there on Christmas morning and grabbed like cinnamon rolls and croissants and Danish and stuff like that. So we had some stuff to kind of snack on. And really, I mean, the prices, I would say they're just a tad bit high for what you get. Like
I don't know. I mean, I think I'd pay $3.50 for a chocolate chip muffin at Starbucks. I don't think that's much.
That's true.
More expensive, and I think the kids' meals were like $5 or $6.
No, the meals weren't bad.
Yeah.
I was looking at some of the pastries and like what they were,
Oh.
and like I think I spent total. It was probably I think a little over $30 on just like 5 pastries, which like for me I was like, okay, but again, you're at Disney, you're gonna pay a little extra, Let's talk about the lunch options real quick, and or lunch and dinner, because I think the lunch and dinner, they're pretty much the same. They don't really change much. But some of the options that you can get there, to give you an idea, is seared salmon, buttermilk chicken, and this is roasted, not fried. Roasted buttermilk chicken, braised beef, roasted herb turkey. So a lot of like traditional American type fare. Now this is what I got the night we came back at like midnight. I got Walt's favorite chili, which if you've never had Walt's chili, it's so good.
It was
in a bread bowl.
I remember what you had, but it was like something so weird.
So it was Walt's famous chili, which is served pretty much all over. Like you can get on your hot dog at Casey's inside Magic Kingdom. A bunch of different restaurants serve it, but it was served in a bread bowl topped with cheddar cheese. That's what I had at like midnight. I had a bread bowl with chili at midnight. So
I just had a pizza, but I'm like a sucker for cafeteria pizza. Eric always judges me that like the crappier the pizza, the more I love it.
Well, I think it's because like we've eaten so much.
I don't even think it was crappy, but
we've eaten so like much good pizza in our lives, but yet like you put cafeteria pizza in front of you and you like.
No, I think there's room for both. I think they're two different categories, but that's I digress. In addition to everything Eric listed, because this is a Disney property, they have tons of allergy-friendly menus. They have a nut-free menu, a milk allergy-friendly, gluten allergy-friendly, and like each one of these menus has 10 items that you could pick on it. Also, I think we should touch on the refillable mug. They do that at every resort, I believe.
And I think they're worth it.
Yeah,
definitely
so
worth
it's $20, and you can refill it as much as you want for your entire stay.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like every 3 minutes. I think so. I don't think you can stand there and just like.
Yeah, they went to a barcode system now. So
yeah, it's really cool. I mean, and that's even on their paper cups because
Yeah.
we didn't get the refillable mug. We just did the paper cup, and it was still like it has that little microchip barcode thing on the bottom, and you can only refill it every 3 minutes. And then on the paper cups, it's the next day that cup will not refill, and with the refillable mug, it's like the day after your stay ends.
Correct.
But if you're there for an extended period of time and you're spending a lot of time at the resorts, for sure, I think the refillable mug is worth it. I mean, honestly, for the amount of money that we probably spent on a paper cup of like root beer every single night, we should have just done the refillable mug.
Absolutely. And I mean, and the thing is, the reason they went to the 3-minute type thing with the barcode is, and this is from a press release they did, is basically it was like people were taking advantage of like the unlimited refills, and they would kind of go, pour it into a cup, come back, and just keep doing it.
Right. I think they were like filling water bottles.
Yeah, they were filling water bottles, so they went to this where now it only dispenses when it censors that barcode, and then it senses it to the point where you like if you come back within that certain time, it will not give you anything. So I actually think it's a cool option. And again, like you said, $20 for a collectible refillable mug. Why not?
I would pay $20 to throw it away at the end of the trip.
Yes.
Eric likes to collect all plastic cups from everywhere.
We have a Typhoon Lagoon Blizzard Beach one up in the cabinet right now, which is my favorite.
I can't stand them, but I do think that it's worth it just for the time that you're there. Also, it refills at any of their quick beverage stations, not just the food court, which is nice because I think there's one by the pool. I think there's some by the ice machines, like in each room area.
Yeah, so it's a great thing to have because there's a food court over in the duck pond pool as well, or not food court, but like a little area where you can get like snacks and stuff
like
over
a
there.
Place.
Yeah, and so it works over there as well. But I would say, like I said, if you're looking for like world class food, this is not it. But if you're looking for just really good, quick service cafeteria food, it looked good and it tasted
like
good.
A little step above quick service cafeteria food.
Yeah. My chili bowl was fantastic. I loved it.
I forgot it was chili, and now I'm grossed out again. Also, they have like full size cakes, like celebration cakes, and I think they're like $30 or $40. So if you're there for a birthday, Christmas, whatever, and you want a full cake, I think they have like a full chocolate and a full vanilla. You can also buy a bottle of wine. Real nice, easy celebration.
They do. I actually forgot about the full cakes. Like it was like they have a whole little bakery section, and like there was like giant cakes in there. And like Casey was mentioning, like you could do wine and stuff like that. And well, like so, real quick, the cakes are about $40. So if you do have like a birthday or celebration, you can get one of these cakes, and they feed about 4 to 6 people. So $40, 4 to 6 people, and again, I mean, you're getting good. I think Disney where
they were really pretty.
They were, and where Disney excels, I think, over and over again across the whole property is desserts. Their pastry section or pastry division at Disney is it's top notch. I mean, I've never had a bad pastry at Disney that I was like disgusted by, that I'd never wanted to eat again. They just have really good stuff. And kind of like Casey was saying too, they have like a wide variety of different wines, and also
I just looked. It's 13 different beers, 7 different wines by the glass, and then they also have wine by the bottle. It looks like there's 8 different ones there. Lots of options, and I think the wine by the bottle you're able to take any of it back to your room.
Yeah.
But I think the wine by the bottle they also sell in the gift shop, if I remember correctly.
Yes, I believe I believe there was a section inside the gift shop for that. All right, so let's move a little bit past food, and before we go too far into the other stuff, I just want to kind of do a quick little stop at Silver Screen Spirits, which is a poolside bar. It's connected to the actual food court itself, overlooking the Fantasia pool. And all it is, it's just a little quick service area. You can come and grab a drink and go. Or they even have a really cool bar on the outside that you could kind of sit at and, just have some drinks and, kind of your traditional stuff, beers, wines, your mixed cocktails, frozen drinks, stuff like that. But it's a really good stop, especially if you just want a quick drink, go back to the pool. Silver Screen Spirits is a really cool spot to go to. So, let's see. Where do we need to go to next?
I don't think we talked about the campfire.
Oh, no, we didn't.
Yeah.
No, let's talk about the campfire.
I'm just trying to think of the things we didn't hit yet, and I don't think we talked about that. And I think that's important because that's really fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
So every night between 7 to 8, they do marshmallows by the fire, and I think that's between. It looks like it's between the Fantasia pool between buildings 5 and 8, which to you doesn't matter right now. But it's on property. You can go and get marshmallows and roast them, which I just think is so fun. It's like a nice little, if you end up leaving the park early, or if you've done a resort day and you just want something fun to do with the kids. I always love a little campfire. I think it's fun, especially if I don't have to set it up. So that was something that I think is special for them, which is fun for kids.
No, I agree. It was actually really cool. I mean, I don't think there was anything going on when we were there.
It's every night, so it was there.
Well, I mean, like when we were, because we didn't really spend a lot of time, so we never really
weren't back
saw
till
it
like 11 or midnight every night.
Yeah, but it was a cool option. I walked by it during the day to kind of see, and it's a really nice area. I mean, it's not just like a fire pit. I mean, it's a legit, like really really nice, built-in fire pit area. It's really cool. So also they do have kind of similar to like other resorts as well. They have like jogging trails, their playgrounds, and then you already talked about the arcade. The one thing I wanted just to talk a little bit more about, because I do think it's a really cool feature, is the movie Under the Stars. I know we touched on it, but I just wanted to kind of talk about it a little bit more, because I do think, I think that option is just really amazing. And when we were there, I kind of like took a peek at some of the movies they were, going to be playing. And in the time that we were there, they were going to be playing Coco one night. I know that was one that I was thinking if we were back, we would definitely like try to do Coco Under the Stars. Little Mermaid was one of them. And I'm trying to remember the other one. I think it might have been 101 Dalmatians, but they had a bunch of different movies. And like I said, it's every single night, which was, just a really cool feature. And especially, like I said, in the wintertime, like grab a blanket and just go and lay in a lounge chair and just kind of cuddle up with your kid and, watch a movie under the stars. Like, I think that's a great feature, because especially if you're going to watch a movie in the room, maybe go outside and do it, just a really cool option. But I'm trying to think. I think amenities. I think that's really all we have left.
I think that's it.
Well,
I think the amenities are pretty much what we just talked about.
Well, the amenities I wanted to talk about real quick was just some of the stuff you have in there, like your transportation options and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because your transportation, I think this is where you get your bang for your buck at a Disney resort. Because like I said, we stay at Disney Springs Hotel sometimes, which has transportation, but it's so spotty.
It's limited, yeah.
Very limited.
It's like every hour on the hour, you have to reserve it. So like, if you miss it at 8:01, then you're sitting there waiting till 9.
And the staff that rides I think it's by like Mears buses, I think, who does it. They're not friendly.
Yeah, they're
so
contracted.
Like having the
they
Disney,
were like fantastic buses last time we were there. Mears has done it in the past, whatever.
Like having the Disney bus experience and having just like the fun drivers and just everything about it. There's something about a Disney bus.
The fun buses. Yeah, I mean, there's just something about a Disney bus.
It's just it fits differently when you're sitting there.
Yeah.
Also, you do get the offer or can utilize the minivan services as well, which is back officially. It is finally back in operation. I talked about the complimentary Wi-Fi, your parking. And you also have a couple other different options on there as well, like currency exchange. So if you're traveling international, just like other hotels, this one does have it at the concierge, where you could actually do your foreign currency exchange if you're traveling from out of the country, which is great. They also have laundry and dry cleaning services, mail services, and I think another huge one for me is the merchandise delivery and pickup. So if you're inside the parks and you buy merchandise, you could have it sent to your resort, so you don't have to carry it around the park.
Yet though?
From my understanding, I think it is back. Yeah, I read something recently, and I'm fairly certain that
they had it all set
back.
up like it was available when we were there, but it wasn't. They kept saying that they were still working on bringing it back.
Yeah, I think I read something recently that they did officially bring it back. So, yeah. But those are the amenities of it, and I think, like I said, I think to kind of wrap it up, I would say that if you're on the fence of like where you want to stay, and you don't know if you want to stay at a value or moderate, I would say kind of figure out what you're there for. Are you there for the hotel? Because then I would probably maybe upgrade to a moderate, or are you there for like a really nice hotel that you're pretty much just going back to at the end of the night and sleeping in? And I would say value is that. It's like I said, I think it does offer so much more with like the pools and amenities that they have.
Yeah.
But it's for, like you said recently, like coming up, it's like 143 a night.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great price, especially if you're just looking to hit up parks.
Yeah, I think if you're going with the intention that you're going to hit up parks and maybe do one day hanging out by the pool, I think a value resort is totally the way to go. I think you're saving a significant amount of money when those days add up. I think that's the way to go. But I think if you're going like, hey, we know we want to go for 7 days and we're really only doing the parks for 3, then I would go moderate.
I agree.
Having been someone who is pretty snobby and is used to only booking higher than moderate, I was very, very surprised by value resorts, and we will be booking it again for sure.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Definitely I want to hit up, hopefully next time. Like, we do want to kind of bounce around a little bit. And like I said, Casey said our ultimate trip would be obviously like Grand Floridian.
That would be so fun to wake up in Grand Floridian one morning, like one Christmas morning.
Yeah.
Probably when our kids are like in high school.
So hopefully one day that becomes a reality.
Yeah.
But we'll kind of start working our way up. And like I said, the value resorts are a fantastic option. We had a great stay. Harlow loved it.
Especially with young kids. Yeah. I mean, I think it was really accessible, really easy. I didn't have to worry about her running around and touching anything, which is really nice. Like, I think I would be worried about Riviera, like her messing around touching things. This is like, oh, you want to go touch that, 101 Dalmatian? Go for it. You want to go take a picture with Donald and Daisy fiberglass statue? Go for it.
Yeah, and I think that is the
young
deal.
Families. I think this is
absolutely
a great place.
Yeah. Families, this is the place to be.
Yeah.
Because even like some of like Port Orleans, there's some cool figurines around there, but it's more, I would say, like teenager to adult.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
like
we love Old Key West, but I don't think Harlow would have appreciated that as much as she appreciated All-Star movies.
Because she still talks about the Dalmatian and going to see Woody and Buzz and all that. So it's just a really cool place for families. So if you're looking for it, don't skip over it.
Yeah.
Hit up a value resort. I'm telling you, Disney has done a great job at making them relevant.
Yeah.
So don't sleep on it.
Yeah.
At
you
all.
need someone to validate that a value resort is not a motel. I'm here to tell you it's not. I was impressed.
No, definitely more than a motel. So,
yes.
Well, I think that's pretty much wraps up our trip to All-Star Movies.
Yes.
So,
I think we hit everything.
We did. So thank you guys so much for listening. And again, tune in this Thursday for another Theme Park Thursday, and then next Monday for another Explore the Mouse podcast episode. And we have a bunch of stuff. And I am going to be having some really fun content coming up because Casey surprised me with buying me a ticket to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party on September 9th.
I'm sending him with a budget.
Yes.
He's already outside of his budget, but I'm sending him with a budget.
Just a little bit. So I'm going to have some really fun content from Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, which I am so pumped for.
Yeah.
Cannot wait to come back with some cool stuff. And then I'll even do a podcast about that as well once I return. So,
for sure.
But thank you guys so much for joining us. And we will see you next time
at
Disney. Bye-bye.